Hello and welcome to part 20. I just had a question about the peace process in Palestine and Israel. Wondering, I believe it'll take some time for the parties to acknowledge that there needs to be some sort of talks, uh, whether individual or together, maybe first individual. I still believe the UN to be the best entity or organization to handle the talks, a special envoy, shuttle diplomacy, perhaps meeting in a location other than the Mideast or something like that, just for, I don't know, it just seems like it'd be more hospitable to meet somewhere else. But wondering who exactly is responsible for, I mean, we have to give them some time, I think, before more protests and all that, to deliberate, to decide that peace talks are the best avenue. Um, and then stalling in peace talks is not a wise decision, I think. But it may take some time for people to realize this is the very best avenue. So I'd ask the Palestinians, especially Gaza, to ease up on protesting. I think that doesn't help. Um, we learned long ago that these kind of things don't amount to anything good. And I think that, I'm not saying the Israelis did the right thing and what happened. An investigation should be held. But at the same time, protesting near the wall, not a good idea. Tearing down the wall or whatever it is, not a good idea. Peaceful negotiations, very important. Nothing but, I think, has to be done. Now, my question is maybe not yet. This is a question that shouldn't be posed yet, although, you know, speed may be important regarding this matter. We need negotiations in a speedy way, yet at the same time giving enough time for deliberation to acknowledge or reach that decision that peace talks are needed, and a willingness to have some sort of compromise. I know that may not sound that great, but I think it's a win-win situation for all, if this can happen. So my question is who on the Security Council is voting against such a thing, or is the reluctance of the UN to intervene, to actually maybe not impose, but to inquire, to sort of say this is the right answer, we need to have talks, some sort of talks, at least the start thereof of talks, or is it Palestine, is it Israel, is it others, who is it? I mean, is it more than one? Eventually, I'm not saying right at this moment, I'm not looking to point fingers at anyone, but give the parties some time to deliberate over this. But I think they'll reach the decision that peace talks are the best avenue, the only avenue. And then the structure of the peace is almost evident to me, what it should be. Now that's my opinion, but I think that this needs to be further, more discourse, further discussed. We need, I think, the UN to do this. Is my take on it. Could it be a U.S. envoy? I don't know. Palestine was rejecting that theory or that course of action, I then defer to the thought that the UN is the best, well-equipped to do such a thing. So my question is, not right at this moment, at this juncture, but down the road, if, I don't want to see any more protests, even if they're peaceful, because, unless they're well within Gaza and peaceful and all that, not near Israel. That doesn't make any sense. That's just asking for trouble. Is my take on it. Now, I'm not saying trouble should happen, of course not, but to be honest, I think that waiting for the peace process to take hold, to actually begin to talk, whether it be the UN and one party, the UN and another party, just the two, the UN and a party, the UN and a party, etc., to get things started. It may not even be necessary for them to sit down for a great while, both parties. I know there's some tension. We see that in the news, and so I think we need to give it some time, people to deliberate, use good judgment, and come up with a solution. A well-designed peace, I know it may not be exactly what everyone had hoped for, but it may be, it may right itself in a sense that, what's fair is fair, what's just is just, and what it should be is self-evident. Talking with the parties may help bring this about, and I think that's the only avenue. My question will be in the future. I may not ask this again, but who is it that is resistant to these talks? Is it the UN? Is it members of the UN? Is it Israel? Is it Palestine? Is it more than one? Is it others located in Jerusalem? Who is resistant, and then can we speak with them to perhaps convince them that talks are needed or necessary, and at least start there, talk about it. And this may take some time before people deliberate and reach this avenue of thought that peace talks aren't necessary, and so patience sometimes is important. I know that the situation in Gaza may not be ideal, but a little more time is possibly needed. I think it is for people to acknowledge exactly what should happen, and I think the peace process is a worthwhile endeavor, very important. I don't know what else to say other than talk. Even if you're going in there resistant to what should be, at least hear out what should happen, or and then think about that is a thought. Meet. Say no, I don't think so. I've been that way about say tobacco or something, like no, I'm not giving up tobacco, and then I mostly did. It may be something like that, like they'll be resistant to it, give it some thought, after the initial talks. First we may have to wait for there to be talks, then talk, and then think about it, think it over, This may be a longer process than we'd like, but in a speedy way would be far better because a lot can go wrong. Tensions are high, possibly. So let's get this done somehow. Not me in particular. I'm just someone trying to ask what is going on, why aren't there talks, and accountability. Who is it that is resistant to that which should be, that which is very best, that it is the very best answer as to what should be regarding Palestine and Israel and others located in Jerusalem, and maybe the future of Jerusalem, who else is involved, and all of that. How does this all work? How does it fit in with how things need to be? Okay, enough said. All right, bye.